Okay, I'm really hoping I can finish up on this part. So these first three Blu-rays I'm going to show you are a TV show that I've said before that I wasn't interested in, but again I started thinking more and more about it, so then I'm like, okay, I'll grab them and see what I think of them. And actually, now that I finished viewing them, I'm glad that I did watch this. It was better than I thought it was going to be, both shows, although the catch is that you kind of have to be careful about how you buy a couple of these. So I got the entire original Battlestar Galactica franchise. This being the theatrical cut of the pilot, where it's in widescreen. Wasn't a fan of that cut, and I actually did make a video about it, but I've since deleted it for reasons that I'll explain in my next video. Then this is the classic Battlestar Galactica show, and this is Galactica 1980, the full screen versions. The thing is, though, you actually can only get these if you buy the definitive collection set, which also has the widescreen versions of both of these, or you could do what I did, is scour eBay and find a seller that was selling these separately, probably because they didn't know that you're actually supposed to watch these in full screen. So that's how I got these. But yeah, I enjoyed these shows more than I expected, and was pleasantly surprised to see that this didn't end in a cliffhanger. Like the last episode for that show, that was a pretty good episode. This, yeah, it's a step down, but here's the thing. If you look at the basic premise of the show, I can guarantee you that you've seen this kind of show before. Yeah, worst sci-fi series of all time. Maybe sequel, but on its own, you've seen it before. I'm pretty sure that I've already shown this to you. This is the good edition of Star Trek Beyond, because if you look at the special features on the back, you'll see that it has more there compared to what you see in other releases, because this is the movie with the regular special features. This is a bonus disc that's tough to find for this movie. Then I picked up the compendium of the other two J.J. Abrams movies in better packaging, because I did not want to keep that original version. If you had seen all of my previous updates, you would know that when I got Lost Girl, I didn't have a slipcover for Season 2. Got one now. I think I showed this on a prior video. Supernatural, the anime series on Blu-ray. So all I'm missing in... This is out of print, by the way. And so I have it downloaded as well in high def. So now all I'm missing in the collection is the Winchesters show, but that show seems to only be getting the DVD-only release, so I have it downloaded in high def, and I just need to pick up the DVD once people stop ordering it like crazy. I might have shown you these Marvel movies already, I'm not sure, because they're much more recent. Black Widow and Shang-Chi, Legend of Ten Rings. Sorry, everyone that I know has always called this movie Legend of Ten Rings, so... Sorry. But I am curious about it, I really am. Reacquisition for better packaging. Band of Brothers. I aim to get the Pacific in this size packaging eventually. Now, I already own this Blu-ray set on DVD, and it's actually, in many ways, inferior to that DVD, because this has shortened versions of all the episodes of this show. Shows every episode in widescreen instead of full screen, although thankfully it's just the opening of the shot, so you see more of the set than you were meant to. Out of the free ways you can make something full screen, widescreen, that's the least bad, but still though, things were made in full screen, people. You just need to accept that. Okay? Especially since the show was full screen throughout its entire run, unlike West Wing and Angel, which changed a couple seasons in. But I decided to get this Blu-ray set because of the bonus disc that was in it, and also as a tribute to the actor who just passed away in it. Friends, the complete Blu-ray. And that's the bonus disc right there, which is the only reason I got this set. Luckily, I got this set heavily discounted on Black Friday, and when you combine it with the price of my DVDs bit, I spent about $102 for this entire show. So even when you count that, I'm still doing pretty good. Okay, what's left? Okay, 3 stacks, but 2 of them will go fast. Now this is another TV show that I had my reservations about getting, because this show is a very weird example where I'm a fan of it, and yet I really dislike it at the same time. The best way that I can explain it was summarized in a Tumblr post that I wish I could find again, but there's no way I'm going to be able to basically, this Tumblr post had a quick conversation that involved 3 different characters. A fan of a particular show, a hater of said typical show, and another fan of this particular show. So this is how the post went. Hater: I hate this show. Fan number 1, oh come on dude, take a chill pill. Fan number 2, I hate this show. Fan number 1, tell me about it. I can't think of a better way to describe this show. But again, it was a show that was constantly on my mind, so I'm like, might as well get it so you can say that you have it, and then experience it, and then decide what you do from there. But then I also realized that there was this bonus thing that I needed to get as well. So I got Glee, the concert. Now this was something that they apparently made between seasons 2 and 3, but it seems like that watching it between season 3 wouldn't be that bad, except for the fact that there's a couple of characters that become recurring characters in season 2 and then later season 3 that you're like, how come they aren't in this? So yeah, currently I've got it between seasons 2 and 3, but I might put it back between seasons 3 and 4. Then I picked up season 4, which you can find, but you gotta look a little more closely, especially since a lot of the Fox stuff is, I think, going out of print now. F you, Disney. But any person that knows about Glee would know that beyond season 4, it wasn't released on Blu-ray. Well, correction. It wasn't released on Blu-ray in America or the United Kingdom. It was released on Blu-ray in Japan. Now you're probably wondering, these look kinda different. Well, here's the thing. These seasons actually come in 2 different releases, and by chance, I ended up with 1 season of each kind. Now this is how season 6 arrived to me exactly, and this is the full season set of season 6, because you notice it actually says season 6 right there, and it's got everything. You'll notice that there is some English on here. Well, that's because even though the menus are in complete Japanese, the default audio of these discs is actually English, and they even have English subtitles. And it's not too tough to figure out most of how the menus work, but I'm definitely going to need to do a little bit of hunting around when it comes to finding which things are the special features and whatnot. I kind of have a sense, but I kind of don't. But the other way that you can get this is where actually each season comes in a small Blu-ray slipcase, you know, like this, and there's two Blu-ray cases that are somewhat smaller than this, but they take up more space total than this Blu-ray case. The reason it says 1 and 2 here does not mean that this is volumes 1 and 2 combined. It means that this is actually the case that has disc 1 and disc 2 in it. But given how it's all in Japanese anyway, and I really don't feel like spending 60 plus bucks to get another Blu-ray that looks like this, you know, and plus this continues the trend of having Rachel on the spine. No, Leah Michelle isn't my favorite actress from here. That's actually Diana Agron, but I just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, I've got every disc for the season in here. So now I've got the whole Glee experience, and I don't have to think about it anymore. Even though I still think I'm going to enjoy fan fiction more than the show. Really, the fact that you didn't put Rachel and Quinn together is a crime. A huge crime. Now, this is an expansion / reacquisition of a popular horror franchise that is in Friday the 13th. First, some new things in the collection. I got the two movies that I didn't have previously. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. But then, you might remember in prior updates I was complaining about how I wasn't able to get the 15-disc Blu-ray set that is now out of print, but was able to get in some form all the extras on that set, either downloaded or most of them on disc. Well, Scream Factory since released 4K editions for all of the first 8 movies, so not counting the Rob Zombie movies, but between these 4K releases, which have multiple discs in there, one of which being a 4K disc, and then there being one, maybe 2 Blu-ray discs. Those Blu-ray discs in those 4K sets, they have all of those extras that were in the 15-disc set. So now I can get them all on disc. I'm going to keep them downloaded, but now I got them all right here. Although I think it's a little unfortunate that the first movie, along with the fourth movie, came in different packaging, but I don't know, it's really not that big of a deal, but there truly is some merit to getting these, even though I think a couple of the releases, such as Halloween 20 years later, or Halloween 7, however you want to call it, along with Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 here, I think that the way that I previously had these movies, there's no change, but for all the others, there is, and in fact, I think for Resurrection and 6 here, I think that there's entirely new extras that are created for this, especially this one, because this has actually 2 discs of bonus features. Like, this is crazy. Now, what's interesting is that they didn't create 4K releases for the Rob Zombie movies, though a bunch of people are under the impression that they might. Well, I already had the first Rob Zombie movie anyway, so I was good there, but I decided, you know what, I might as well just get the other one separately, just so I could have all of them on a shelf. Although, interestingly, this Rob Zombie movie is actually out of print. So maybe they are coming out with versions of these. Well, if they do, then I'll get them, because it stands to reason that there'll probably be extras for that, and even if it's just new extras for this, let's complete the collection, you know? Somehow I don't think they're going to do that for any of this trilogy. I already have the first one of these. But yeah, that does seem to be a new trend where you are getting 4K editions of movies with exclusive extras, but unless they're from, like, the, Film Buff Enthusiast Studios, Criterion, Arrow, Scream Factory, what you do is that you have the 4K disc that has the movie, and then you've got the Blu-ray disc that has the movie and special features. Although I do know for a fact that the Wild Things set from Arrow is just 4K discs, so that one actually does have special features on it, but I'll probably grab that eventually. Because, like, I don't think I'm ever really going to get into 4K, because I don't think that it's worth it, all the amount of return that you get, but it's still something that I'll probably snag eventually, for whatever reason. Okay, last two stacks, and I mentioned this because they're all reacquisitions of better packaging. So first, I got Star Trek: The Original Series. These all came together, so I wasn't deliberately seeking out the slip covers, but coincidentally I got them all, and I think it's a nice touch. Because those complete crew sets that I've shown you previously, that's bad packaging. So I get them in correct packaging. Now the animated series, that was in good packaging as it is, but I had Next Generation in bad packaging. So now I fixed these, and I got real lucky that I was able to find these for $12-ish a season. I call that pretty good. Now, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, it seems like that the original DVDs releases for those for that show are out of print. Not that they were that much better than those big crew sets, so what I ended up doing was purchasing a whole bunch of blank cases, putting the discs in them, and then I aimed to get custom cover arts from internet websites. I've actually already found websites that have them. I just need to, like, purchase access to them in order to get better versions of them, that kind of a thing. Enterprise in better packaging. I had to pay more for this than original series, because original series was kind of easy, the other is not as easy. Hang on a sec. Okay, last two things. I might have shown this first one to you, but it merits being shown again for a couple of reasons. So, I have this 10-disc Stardate collection for, well, it's actually 12-disc collector's set for the original 10 Star Trek movies, because it has the original transfers for all these movies on Blu-ray, but it also has 2 bonus discs of extras that you can't find as easily. For the first bonus disc, you have a documentary called The Captain's Summit, and then the second disc you have Star Trek Evolutions, which is a couple of features that have more bonus content about Star Trek. So it's good to have this for exclusive extras, but the transfers themselves of the movies are not good. That's why I still had the 2-disc collector's DVD editions, because those were actually better transfers than those. Well, to like the beginning of 2022, I think it was, whoever owns Star Trek Paramount finally released proper remasters of all the movies and also rounded up pretty much all the extras that are out there, as far as I can tell. And there's a couple different ways that you can get to the movies. You can actually get them in crew collections or as individual releases. Now, when it comes to extras, based on what I've been able to determine, movies 2 through 10, doesn't matter if you get them as the individual releases or the crew sets. They're the exact same, but movie number 1, the motion picture, that does matter. If you want everything, you gotta get the crew set. So, obviously I did. So, how this is organized is that this thing just has 4K discs for all the movies. But interestingly, they have 2 discs for the motion picture. One of them, I think, is the director's edition, and then the other one is theatrical. Then you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's no apparent special features on those discs. But then you've got the Blu-ray set here. So then you've got Motion Picture Director's Edition disc. Then you've got Director's Edition bonus features disc. And then here you've got theatrical motion picture with different special features. Star Trek 2 Director's Cut. And then you got 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And I think that this has the better version for one of, if not more, of the later ones that are also on those 2-disc DVDs. I'm probably going to keep those 2-disc DVDs to be safe, but now I have these movies in good transfers. There is also another set for Star Trek the Motion Picture. The gimmick about that is that apparently there's a new audio commentary for the director's cut, but then there's also another cut of the movie which is called the even longer version of the movie. But that set went out of print super quickly, and I'm not going to pay like $200 for that, especially since that special longer cut, I was both able to find a YouTube video that showed the differences, and then I was able to find that cut in its entirety and then download it. Although I had to go to that, I think it's called Mega site, no, not Make America Great Again, literally mega as in huge site, and I was able to download it from there. But even though it was a 720 file, it was 15 gigabytes. Fortunately, it plays fine, but I got real lucky that I was able to download that. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with that set if all I'm missing is that one commentary track and it's that expensive. Gonna cut my losses. Then as for the next gen movies, I'm probably going to buy them individually along with getting custom artwork for these 6 movies at some point, so then I can pick them off the shelf in a better format. Because that's something that I'm going to be doing a lot with several things in my collection that are in collections. I'll buy a collection to get like a bonus disc or something, then I'll buy the individual movies again, so I only pull that one off the shelf, because that's something I've gotten anal about, as I mentioned in part 1. Alright, finally, that's almost 2 hours work of getting all these things to the table and then making these videos. Now I gotta put them all back. Well, I hope you enjoyed this update. Got one more video for you, but it's not an update video. I'll see you then.